This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. Yes, a daring approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charge the housewives like no one can. What you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy. Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
Yeah, Rosie.
You just have to draw your own conclusions, people.
Is wearing women's underwear part of your training?
Yeah, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. You run through chairs just to share zones and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs.
Rosa, you don't know nothing.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the Common Man, Dan Cole.
You can do better than that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. There's really hundreds of people here at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds, and literally a couple 13, 14 people here to watch the Common Man program. But that's not a bad percentage when you think about it. I'm all right with it. A little ack-ack-a-dack, dack-dack-ack to and yours. What is that? Well, ack-ack-a-dack, dack-dack-ack is your password for tomfoolery and skullduggery, and we got plenty of it at the Minnesota State Fair. Shtick on a stick is what we call this version of the Common Man program. We're here until 3 o'clock, and then we turn it over to Big Ticket and JG. They will duck out early because it's football season, and we've got the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings traveling to... Who do we play?
They play... Hold on.
Yo, what up, Tennessee?
Tennessee. They play the Tennessee Titans. Randy Moss and the Tennessee Titans. So, good for the Purple. Should be an exciting game.
He did play for Tennessee.
He did indeed.
Late in his career.
That's why he did his Tennessee. Yeah. Went to Tennessee. Paul Allen, the voice of the Vikings and the national treasure, will have all the action for you, along with Pete Bursich, Ben Lieber, and the rest of the crew. Thanks for coming out to the Minnesota State Fair today. I want to ask, first of all, this is the same question I ask all the time. How many people sitting in the fan stands presented by Mesh, Besher, and Spence are here because they wanted to see the Common Man program? Clap your hands. How many people just got here really early, had a couple of beers, got really tired and drunk, and decided this looks like a good place to rest my weary feet? Clap your hands. See? So they have no idea what they've gotten themselves into. No drinks served here, though we do have plenty of merchandise for sale. We've got all sorts of T-shirts.
Boy.
We have hats. By the way, this is where we actually, most of you probably don't want it to rain today, right? We can't wait for it to rain. We actually hit our knees and pray for it because we sell these KFAN ponchos. It's like a plastic hefty bag with sleeves, and it's like...
It's like $5 a pop?
It's like $5 a pop, and they probably cost us about 4 cents a piece, and they fly off the shelves. Now, they won't get you through a hurricane as an errand. They're not going to get you through a hurricane, but they'll keep you relatively dry, at least for a little while. So if it starts to rain and pour, you know right where to go, over here to our merchandise place. And
do you think next year we're going to have Tana Fitzgerald themed ponchos for when it gets wet?
No, they're going to have
weather comes in.
They're going to have a Tana Fitzgerald life jacket.
Life preserve, okay.
That you can wear because, as you know, when the show starts, it's why are you guys leaving? Is it that bad? You know, once you leave, you can't come back. There's people that want those seats. Or we could do what A-Rod and Mark Laurie want to do is when you could sell your seats now to somebody else and make some money off of them. Sell them for a Prano Pup. Why not?
We get a portion of that, though.
Yeah. You can go ahead and sit down. You can leave. I was just kidding. I didn't really try to draw attention to you. Do whatever you want. I'd leave, too, if I were you.
You've guilted them into staying.
I wish I could leave right now, but I can't. I'm contractually obligated to be here until 3 o'clock today. So how many, we have the luxury of parking on site. We park over, just at one of the State Fair entrances off of Como. So it's really nice. Hey, thank you very much. Looks like he's running to go to the bathroom, maybe. I don't know. And it's a jaunt because there used to be a bathroom right there, which I really like because the only thing bigger than my ego is my prostate, right? So I usually have to go to the bathroom a couple 13, 14 times. It's back there over by, there's some sports bar back there or something where they serve beer, but I'll make it. Don't worry about that. But do I hear a siren?
I think you do, yes.
I'm in trouble now. I double parked outside. That's what I'm going to get to. How many people drove here and parked somewhere on the fairgrounds? Clap your hands. What it costs to get into the fairgrounds for parking?
$25? That actually seems reasonable.
$25. Rosen would be outraged.
I feel like the people that live in the houses over here to the east of us that do the parking and they've got fancier signs this year. They've upgraded their parking signs, and they're like dancing out there trying to get attention. How
many people here parked at one of the residences where they parked? They're waving their signs like Tennessee says $20 here, $30 here, whatever. How many people parked at those? Clap your hands. On the radio, you can't just raise your hand. Got to be able to hear that applause. Thank you very much. Most of you doesn't sound like park. Did you Uber here? Anybody Uber here?
We took the bus. Yeah.
Really? Did you take the MTC bus or the State Fair ride bus? Which one? State Fair ride bus. Good for you. The reason I ask is I come down Como to get here, and every year I see the same signs where it says $30 college fund. Those have been there for 25 years, and they think they're. It's not for a college fund. That's what they're just saying. They want to tug at your heartstrings and go, well, I'm going to help put this kid through college. The money's not going to a college fund. It's going to his beer fund or something like that, because there's no way that, unless I guess you can go to college for 4 years and then get, a master's degree?
Parker Fox has been going to the University of Minnesota for like year 9 now.
Maybe Parker Fox has got a house out there and he's charging money for it. I don't know. But I find it rather amusing that the college fund is still up and running as an excuse for charging money. Now, it gets a little pricey to go to the Minnesota State Fair.
Yes.
I went by the pork. How many people like the pork chop on a stick thing? Clap your hands. How many people would like pork chop on a stick better if it was $4 rather than $13? For $13, you can buy an entire pig. Right? I mean, you could go down to the 4-H building right now and offer any one of those kids, if you have a couple $13, $14 for your pig, as soon as you get some blue ribbon, it's all yours. I'll butcher them right here on site, too.
I always love that one.
$14. Now, again, we're guilty of it as well. Have you seen what we're charging for T-shirts? Have you seen it? $25.
You've got to be kidding
For a
me.
T-shirt. But, of course, for that price and for the quality of them, you can wear it once and then wash your car with it if you want. We're all right with that, too. But we got plenty of merchandise here for sale, and we got a really big shoe lined up for you today. As always, closing out the show will be none other than Mouth Guitar Guy. There he is. He's got a specialized mouth guitar T-shirt. Go out there and model it for him. It's in honor of Ozzy Osbourne, and he's going to be doing a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne today and all next week. Today's features, get this. Tell your friends to tune in. He's going to do Crazy Train and War Pigs.
Ooh.
Mouth Guitar Guy performing right about 2:30, 2:35, 2:40, just with a couple minutes left in the show. Then, Lil B, the feminine touch of the program.
Yeah, baby.
Speaking of farms, and 4-H, Lil B is very familiar with that. She will be joining us at 1 o'clock for a little feminine touch of the program, a couple of segments, and then Program Password, the ever-popular Program Password. And they say the stars only come out at night. That's not true. They come out at the midday as well. Marnie Gellner of, is it FanDuel now?
FanDuel Sports Network.
FanDuel Sports Network. It's been a couple, 13, 14 different things over the years, but FanDuel Sports Network, she will be here. And also, Max Philin Fuller will also be with us. Hootie hoo. Philin Fuller, his star is rising. He was here. He was basically a fill-in producer. He was the interim to the interim, and now he's got a big-time job over at Fox 9 doing some streaming show with a couple of other people. Big money, big prizes for Max Fuller. So we'll ask him a little bit how it's going for him, and we'll play a little Program Password. So we have all of that and so much more to go. Thanks for coming by the State Fair. That'll do it for me today. No, I'll be back after the other side of the break. It's the Common Man and 10 to be live from the Minnesota State Fair. We are here at Carousel Park in the shadows of the grandstand right here on the Fan. Minnesota State Fair here in the shadows of the grandstand at Carousel Park. It's week 2 of the fair, day 2 of the fair. Also day 2 of the Common Man 10 to be program here. We'll also be back next week, Monday through Friday as well. Time now for Peek at the Purple. Peek at the Purple is brought to you by my friends at Affordable Electric. And, they sell, during the fair, I'm told, they sell at great prices like saunas and hot tubs and such like that. You see the booths all around. They sell them at great prices, but you have to rewire your house a little bit. You have to get the right kind of electrical transformation in order to use that. So if you're here at the fair and you find a great deal on a hot tub or a sauna or anything else, and then you need someone to hook up the electricity for it, place to go is Affordable Electric. Affordable-electric.com is the place to go. Affordable-electric. And remember, Affordable Electric is, hang on now, shockingly affordable. I'm starting to actually enjoy that a little bit now. I did a lot of research. I worked my sources all morning long. My sources tell me the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings are flirting with the possibility of bringing Adam Thielen back to the Vikings.
Oh my gosh.
I'm breaking the news here on the Fan. All I do is break news. A framework of a deal, I'm going to say, is in place. Tenby, where is this rumor coming from? I mean, who is it? Was it...
the first one I saw tweeted happens to be a pretty big name. That would be Adam Schefter of ESPN.
When did he do that? 2:20 in the morning? Or isn't Schefter the one that does that?
9:07 a.m., which probably hit Eastern time zone. Well...
Is Schefter the one that does that?
Yes, maybe he was in Hawaii at the time where it was like 3 o'clock Hawaii time.
Schefter does the old where he'll send out a tweet at 2:37 in the morning, but he's sleeping. He just sets it because he wants people to think, this guy, when does he ever rest? He's constantly working the phone.
Always working.
He's dedicated to his craft. And I guess I've never been with him at 2:37 in the morning, so I don't know. Maybe he really is awake, but my guess is he's not. Yeah, it's no secret the Vikings could use some wide receiver help right now. Maybe not when the season first started. We knew Addison would serve a 3-game suspension at some time, but we liked our combination of wide receivers, our number 1 and our number 2, Jets and Addison. As a matter of fact, we looked at a piece from CBS Sports yesterday. They were ranking the best wide receiver duos in pro football. They had Addison and Jets ranked as the 3rd best in the league, and you could argue they could be 2, they could be 4, someone might say 1, I don't know, but they're certainly a top 5 receiving duo. However, Addison has to serve a 3-game suspension. Then the number 3 guy, Jalen Naylor. Now, did I see week to week now is what I saw?
That's what KOC said, yes.
Okay, so now week to week, so who knows what that means. That could mean week to week. It could be month to month. It could be he's out for the season. Really, we don't know. I don't think he's out for the season, but that's pretty vague, just week to week. Addison's out for the 3 games.
And as I mentioned yesterday, it's with a hand injury. And if you are week to week with a hand injury, there's something broken. Yeah,
more than likely. That's exactly right. So pretty hard to be a wide receiver. You can't Odell every pass. You can't catch them all one-handed. So my guess is that would be a hindrance to a wide receiver. So then the speculation started. Who would the Vikings go after? I also saw another story. There were probably, including the Vikings, at least 3 other teams that were in pretty desperate need of a wide receiver. And was San Francisco one of them, and they filled a spot? Is that correct?
They traded for Sky Moore, wide receiver, Kansas City Chiefs. They also made a trade for a running back today. They acquired Brian Robinson from the Washington Commanders for a 6th-round pick. So he'll back up Christian McCaffrey in San Fran.
And earlier in the week, I grilled Tenneby about potential wide receivers that could pique the curiosity of the Vikings. And being realistic, it's not like we're going to go out and get A.J. Brown, right? That's not going to happen. So, and one of the names that came up was Thielen. He's one of us. He was born in Brainerd, grew up and went to Scholastic up in Duluth. Is that where he played his college football?
Yep.
So he's one of us. We love him. Comes in here as an undrafted free agent, makes the club, and he had a Pro Bowl season or two, didn't he? Did he make the Pro Bowl before?
I'm sure he did. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
very good season.
He was a hell of a wide receiver for us. And then push comes to shove. He leaves via free agency, signs a deal with the Carolina Panthers. And he's been there how many years now? Is that 3 years with the Panthers?
2. This would be year 3.
This would be year 3. Whether the Panthers, you throw that name out there, and the Vikings could make that call to Carolina, and Carolina listens and says, "We appreciate your interest, but we're not interested in trading Adam Thielen." So
Thielen is a 2-time Pro Bowler.
2-time Pro Bowler.
2017, 2018.
So, do you think, Tenneby, what do you think the chances are of finding a way to secure the services of Adam Thielen? Do you think that's a possibility or not?
Well, I clearly think it's a possibility from the Viking side. I mean,
right.
We know it's being reported that they have at least inquired about him. I think it comes from Carolina's standpoint. They have added some younger talent in their wide receiver room. They used a 1st-round pick on Tedderota McMillan, who was a top 10, top 12 pick in this year's draft.
Okay.
So they have a little more depth there than they did when they first acquired Adam Thielen. But, Thielen over the last 2 years when healthy has kind of been Bryce Young's favorite target. And if you remove Bryce Young, I think they'd like to think is ascending here, where he had a pretty bad year 1. Year 2 got off to an awful start. He got benched, and then he was coming on the second half of the season. So if you want to keep that momentum going with your franchise quarterback, it's hard to just say, all right, let's take away your little nookie blankie and Adam Thielen, unless they have confidence enough in a lot of their other young wide receivers. So, and then, I don't know what the price is. I can't imagine the Vikings are going to give up a whole lot for Thielen given his age, and it's kind of probably a 1-year fill-in stopgap play. So you're not going to give up, I can't imagine anything more than a 5th-round pick for Thielen. So, how much Carolina is comfortable with their wide receiver room? Are they willing to kind of do a solid for Thielen of, hey, we might not be a big game contender here, but you can go back to Minnesota where they are a big game contender? So I don't know what Carolina's thinking on this, but for the Vikings, it makes too much sense.
How many years? How old is Thielen now? He's got to be early 30s, right?
He's in his 30s, yeah.
Yeah, so early to mid-30s. Then you wonder how...
He's 35 years old.
Okay.
In wide receiver years, that's pretty old.
Yeah. So then you wonder how much does he have left, A, and then B, how much... What will his interest level be? Because, as you know, when he gets done playing football, he plans to try to get his tour card on the PGA Tour. So is he already thinking about his next professional sports profession?
Sure.
And getting on the PGA Tour, trying to collect Ryder Cup points, winning some golf tournaments, maybe possibly getting invited to the Masters tournament, and then who knows, maybe Ryder Cup over at Hazleton. What a story that would be. He gets on the Ryder Cup team in 2029.
What's his focus level even going to be?
That's what I don't know. So I don't know if I'm interested in going
he's
down
out on a
that
football
road.
field and he sees 100 yards. He's just thinking, do I use a sand wedge here? What's my distance here to get this ball through the uprights?
And so that's why I'm not sure I want to go with Thielen, just because that's the first question I would ask him. I would say, do you want to, how do I say this? Do you want to play 4 downs or do you want to go 4? That wasn't that funny. I should send that to rewrite and have him punch it up a little bit.
Well, the other aspect of this, too, they chose Carolina for a reason. I'm guessing his wife was able to find a job there. She was able to find a line of work, and then just to have her uproot her current position out there.
Yeah, that's another thing.
To go back here to Minnesota. I mean, you gotta talk to the family about it.
Well, and not just that. I mean, because maybe I'm sure she wouldn't mind relocating, but is there work for her here? That's the thing. What if she agrees to leave, but all of a sudden she says, "Well, I can't find any work in Minneapolis," and then Thielen has to say, "I guess we got to stay in Carolina." Those are all inside jokes from a long, long time ago. That was a preposterous statement tournament winner. How long ago was that now? 10, 12, 15 years ago?
Oh, that was
Amy Van Dyke. And
that was the Zach Parise.
Oh, that's Zach. Yeah, that's right.
Zach Parise before he came to the Wild. So it was that summer. Was that 2011?
That's right. I get them all confused. There have been so many great preposterous statements over the years. But we'll keep you posted on that. I should have asked Alec Lewis. I was on with him. Did you hear what he said? Were you here?
I wasn't on the air, but he told me off the air that you threw him for a loop with the Harry the Hitman bit yesterday.
His phone was dying. He had to rush home and plug it in and call Harrison Smith's agent.
I didn't hear that part.
To say, did Harrison Smith get traded? Think about it. So we did Brett Blakemore was here running the board out here, and he reeled him in with the zzz. I asked him how much he weighed and how tall he was, and we threw him back in. He thought it was real. Think about it.
I always love that one.
Oh, why? And he said his phone was blowing up. People were going, did they really trade? I didn't realize that people really would buy into that. As a matter of fact, I thought that was one of the lamer fishing trips we've ever done. I know we've done better than that. Why not Harrison Phillips, Harrison Smith? You get the bit, right? We were just trying to see if we could get people going, and it worked. We reeled in Alec Lewis of the Athletic.
Now, that being said, we've been talking about the backup quarterback position, right? I don't know if the Vikings are sure on full.
Right.
What about? I think Derek Carr might be available.
Derek Carr might be available. Been in the league a long time.
He has been.
He knows.
Former number 1 overall pick.
Number 1 overall pick
with the Houston Texans.
He played, I think, 33 years in the National Football League for a number of different teams, and he finally just retired.
I always love that.
You might be able to coax him off the bench. It happens all the time. But we'll just have to wait and see how the Vikings go. So we'll keep you posted on that. If you think we're struggling during that segment, just wait. We got another half hour before we bring Lil B in. So we're going to try to regroup here, put our heads together, and try to figure out something to talk about. It's the Common Man program along with 10 and B. We're broadcasting live from Carousel Park in the shadows of the grandstand right here on the Fan. Little Long Johns here at the State Fair. That's going to be my rap alter ego. I know I've promised it forever, but when I do it, it's going to be Lil Long Johns with a Z. Then at the end of the concert, I'll turn around and drop that trap door on the back, and then wave to the crowd. Be like Lil Nas X. Guy's got some issues, doesn't he? Did you see that?
Lil Nas X does?
Well, didn't you see what happened?
No.
He was found wandering down Hollywood Boulevard or some street in Los Angeles. He was in white cowboy boots and white underwear, white briefs, wandering down the street. They think it's either a psychological issue or drugs. It's got to be one or the other, I think. I don't think you'd see that very often, but best of luck to him.
Or he's just shooting a music video, one of the two.
Well, hadn't thought of that. Maybe that's what he was doing. That's what I would claim. We're here at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. We're at Carousel Park in the shadows of the grandstand. If you've approached the booth to say hi, say, hey, remember me, and I don't recognize you, it's because I can barely see right now. I feel like a Bob Dylan song. It's too dark to see. It's too dark to see. I'm knocking on heaven's door. I had my eyes dilated today because I had to go to...
I had mine just the other day.
No, sorry, because I was going to ask you if you ever had your eyes dilated
Just
before.
Wednesday I had it.
I had mine. We should have went together on the buddy plane. So I go in there on today, and about 9:20ish they do it. I still can't see. It's too dark to see. It's awful getting. And I asked him, I said, because my eye pressures have been getting steadily raised, so they think you might have a glaucoma. It runs in your family, and I do have, I guess, like glaucoma stage 1 or something like that. But as long as we keep a handle on it, I'm going to be okay. I don't think I'm going to go blind. But I asked, the first thing I asked, I go, are you going to dilate my eyes today? And they go, yeah. And I go, oh gosh, because here's what I'll tell you. If you go to get you've ever had a colonoscopy?
Yes.
We should have went on the buddy plan. How many people have had a colonoscopy? You clap your hands. How many people told them, yeah, I got somebody to drive me home, and they didn't. They just got behind the wheel of the car and took off. Clap your hands. See, and I should have, because I think it's more difficult to drive home, and when they dilate your eyes, they don't require you to bring somebody there.
No.
I think it's harder to drive with dilated eyes than it's coming off the effects of laughing gas at the colonoscopy clinic. I mean, I want to tell them at the colonoscopy clinic, I want to say, look, I've consumed a multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers in my life, and I've been behind the wheel of a car before. I'm not going to have any trouble with your little bit of your laughing gas. It's not that big of a deal to me. But I go ahead, because they won't, if they don't have somebody standing there going, he's with me, and a set of car keys in there with an insurance card, they won't do the procedure. So you got to do it. But I don't understand, because I'm driving down the road trying to loosen my load, a couple 13, 14 women on my mind, and I'm going, I can't, thank God I knew where I was going, because it was in my neighborhood. You can't read street signs. You can't see anything. It's unbelievable. How did they determine when you need to have someone drive you when they don't? Would you agree with the dilated?
I mean, I was able to drive. Yes. I drove my, because I had Leo with me, so he also had his eyes dilated. So I drove him to where he needed to go. I drove into work. So I made it safely, but also for me, like the drops they're putting in there, like they kind of like dry your eyes out.
Yes.
I felt like I needed to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It made me feel tired, just the way it forced your eyes to try to want to close.
Well, then my biggest fear as always is the gal that's administering the drops, because it's not the main doctor, because they have to do some. You do that thing. You ever put your in your periphery, stare at the little yellow dot, and I feel like I'm staring at a laser and it's going to burn my retina out. But they tell you stare at that, and then you got to click this thing, and when you see little dots
laser
of light.
flashes.
Yeah, little boom, boom, boom. And I'm nervous because I don't want to fail the test. I want to say, we have to bring you for an emergency eye surgery right now. We're going to have to do an eye transplant. So you're sitting like, I'm just click, click, click. Then I just start clicking when I don't even see him. I just can't stop clicking. And I even had to say to her a couple times, sorry, I didn't really see one there. She goes, oh, you're okay. Boom, boom. They said I did okay, because they do both eyes.
Yeah.
And they do it for like 10 minutes. It's draining, man. Because it's one of those tests you really don't want to fail.
No.
Right? So they got me out of there. Then they brought me in, and then the stuff they put in your eyes. And I'm hoping. So it's not the doctor that's doing it; it's somebody else. And they go, "Oh, we're going to dilate your eyes. Okay, open up your eyes." And they it's a yellow liquid. Have you seen it? It's always.
That's what I had. Yeah.
So I'm crossing my fingers. I hope it's yellow liquid, not red, because then I know she put something wrong in my eyes, and all of a sudden, oh my God, look what I've done! Ah, my eyes are burning out of my head. But you got to trust them, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do. So, that is Mouth Guitar Guy, right? Yeah, see, I'm just having trouble seeing, but I think that's Mouth Guitar Guy. He'll perform and close out the show a little bit later. You know what they're calling it? They're calling it, I had a great name for this bit. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. You hit the music. Okay, maybe this wasn't it, but I'll use it. It's called the Liberty Layover. Well, we played the Liberty, and it was an intense game. Not layover. What's the word I'm looking for? Not hangover. I had a great word for an alliteration. The letdown. It's the Liberty letdown is what it is, because we played the Liberty. They're our rival now, right? We're trying to sweep the series from them. The season series, we have bragging rights for 4-1. We lose 3-1. They lose last night to the Aces.
No, the Atlanta Dream, who's tied with the Liberty for second best team in the WNBA. So it was a quality team.
Oh. Well, there goes there goes.
Well, I mean, first 2-game losing streak all season.
Well, that's it. I think it's a Liberty layover because they
Liberty
letdown.
Liberty Bibberty?
Yeah, Liberty Bibberty letdown is what I think it was, because we don't have any reason to be concerned, though, right?
Well, if you would have told me during this 6-game stretch that you were going to have to play without Nafisa Collier and you had to play the Liberty, is it 4 times?
4 times.
And the Atlanta Dream 1 time, I would not have guessed they would exit that with a 4-2 record. So it just happens to be that those 2 losses are the 2 most recent losses. But I still think they're... And ultimately, I mean, there probably was a little bit of a letdown, right? I mean, they're not going to have the same intensity against Atlanta, even though Atlanta's a good team, that they had against New York. And I think at this point they're just going to kind of coast their way into the playoffs and wait till MVP gets healthy.
Vikings on this radio station tonight. Coverage begins at 3. The kickoff at 5. They're taking on Tennessee in Memphis. Coverage starts again at 3. The kickoff is scheduled for...
Starts at 5.
I'm sorry. Pregame at 5.
Game starts at 7.
It starts at 7. You'll be doing double duty. You'll leave here and go back.
So excited to be done here and then go right back to work again.
Yeah, go to as Master Control Supervisor.
For a really important game.
Esteemed columnist, it is important if you read the Fish Wrap Factory West Side today. we still have a quarterback battle between who is going to be our backup quarterback, which leads me to the Jim Souhan article today, the esteemed columnist. And I thought it was very interesting. I think he's spot on that. I know we're worried about the wide receiver position. Let me preface, he wrote about who's going to be the backup quarterback. In his opinion, it might not even be anybody that's really on the roster right now. He brings up Brosmer in that, okay, that's great, but he's played well, but are you really going to go with a guy that's only played 1 year of Division I football, right, and has never taken a snap in the NFL? That would be, for a team that has playoff aspirations and beyond, that would seem to be a bit much. We're not sure about Ripon. The Howell meter after his first performance was at 1.06. The Howell meter after his second performance, it was basically he had laryngitis. I mean, it was just an awful performance. And so he went through a list of possibilities for quarterbacks that they could get. And he mentioned Howell, but of course, as we just said, Howell was brought in to be the backup quarterback, but his second performance wasn't very good. Do you think they're going to entertain the idea of and I don't even know who that would be. I don't know what backup you could bring in, or do you think they just go, you know what? Once you get to your backup quarterback, and most teams, once you get to your backup, you're in trouble anyways, especially if it's for an extended period of time. Do they just stay with the quarterback room that they have, do you think, or do you think they might explore someone from the outside?
Well, at the very least, I think they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks, which they haven't really done every year, because you might say you're not comfortable with Max Brosmer as the number 2 quarterback, but he's played well enough to be on a roster somewhere in the National Football League. So if you don't put him on the 53-man, he's going to get claimed somewhere else, and then you're going to lose potentially a young quarterback who might be a guy someday that you can count on. So I think at the very least they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks. I don't know. I think sometimes fans and even media members put way too much stock into in a singular preseason performance.
Right.
When there's so many variables that go into why he didn't perform. Like, Brosmer didn't look as good last game. Well, it's because he was constantly getting pressure the whole time, right? Like, it's not always everything's on the quarterback. I think there's so much that happens at training camp, practices there, that we don't get to see. So we take too much stock into what we see in the preseason game, when really that's just a small blip, a small percentage of their overall grading of what they have at the quarterback position. But they gave up draft capital to bring in Howell. The quarterback whisperer obviously had his eye on him. I'm not convinced Sam Howell's going anywhere.
Right.
Now, if you let's say they don't believe in Howell, they don't believe in Ripon, and they need to go elsewhere. I guess maybe the Giants, just because Russell Wilson's probably their one to start, but Jackson Dart, the first-round pick, has had an unbelievable
That's
season.
what I read, yeah.
So what really need do they have for Jameis Winston at this point? They signed Winston before they signed Russell Wilson. Okay. So maybe if they would have known they were going to get Russell Wilson, they wouldn't have gone after Winston. But they signed him, at the very least, having a quarterback competition. Well, now you have a young quarterback that you don't want to shut out when he gets his chance. So Jameis Winston might be that guy. I don't know how he would fit in a KOC offense. The other guy that nobody's mentioned, nobody's talking about because he's still on the streets right now. He's a free agent that the Vikings allegedly had maybe a little bit of interest in the offseason would be Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
Who he's old, aging veteran, has had some ups and downs in his careers. But if you want a veteran quarterback, to me, that makes the most sense of a guy who's going to be pretty safe with the football and would come in and give you like the veteran safe option you apparently want that you don't trust in Howell.
Sue Ann brought up another name, and he does say it's probably unrealistic, but here's the description of the quarterback, and tell me if you can name him.
I already read the story.
Oh, did you? So
yeah,
he brought up Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, Trubisky's probably going to stay with the Bills as a backup if they decide to go with the other guy.
He's not
but what's interesting here, he writes, he's probably the ideal fit for the Vikings. He wouldn't come to expect to compete for the starting job. He could come in during the middle of the game and confound a defense that hasn't prepared for his running ability, and he's physically talented. Now, yeah, you can agree with all that, but this is the one thing this is what's bothering me again. If Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell and his staff could make Sam Darnold look like an MVP candidate, why couldn't they do the same for Trubisky if needed? And it goes back. I talked about this with Alec Lewis, and Alec Lewis he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Muss is drinking the Kool-Aid. That if Kevin O'Connell is the Midas of quarterbacks, no matter who he touches is going to be a great quarterback, and that could very well be. And
why can't you do that with our backups that we want to jettison?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's my point. It's like he may be good at taking them from where they are. Let's say they're like a C level quarterback. We could probably get him to C plus B minus, maybe a little harder, maybe a little higher. But if the guy doesn't have bona fide NFL talent, and not just to be a backup, but to be able to I can lead a team like Darnold did, unless he's got that kind of talent. I just not sure that that O'Connell or any quarterback, a so-called quarterback whisperer, would be able to do that. You have to remember Darnold was the third pick overall. Now he failed in New York, and what was his second stop? He had three stops altogether, right? First he was drafted by the Jets.
Darnold? Who are you talking about?
Darnold.
Darnold, yes. Jets.
San Francisco was third.
Carolina,
and then San Francisco.
Then San Francisco's a backup.
And what I've brought up, and I brought it up to Alec Lewis, and I think he acknowledged that could be part of it, is that Darnold was with the 49ers in their big game here. Now, they lost the big game, but he saw, Shanahan's considered, if O'Connell's considered an offensive wonderkind, I think Shanahan is too.
Yes.
So he saw how a real big-time successful operation runs. I'm sure he learned plenty from there, and then O'Connell, and I also don't think maybe the quarterback coach gets enough credit either. Our guy had him on the air. McCown. Maybe shouldn't he get some of this credit as well? So I just sometimes wonder if the quarterback had success, and then all of a sudden we're just going to rely on that now for the rest of the time that O'Connell's here. Hey, don't matter who we have because he can coach him up. Maybe in some cases, but like you just said, he hasn't really coached up Rippon, I don't think, and he hasn't coached up a Howell meter.
You got to have some talent.
Yeah, you have to have some talent. That's exactly right. So I don't think they'll go out and...
Well, and Trubisky doesn't make sense to me because he's the backup in Buffalo. It's not like they have a third guy knocking on the door that, hey,
right,
Trubisky's expendable because we have this player who can be our backup quarterback. Buffalo has big game aspirations. If Josh Allen is about as durable as any quarterback out there, so odds are he's not going to be hurt or injured. But if you have to go a game or two, it's a team that has big game aspirations. You're not going to just give away your quarterback your backup because somebody else wants it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, and I've mentioned this a couple 1,300 times, most teams in the NFL, once you get past your starter at quarterback, you're in trouble anyways, right? I mean, half the teams, or at least a third of the teams in the league, their starting quarterback's not anything to write home about, right? So that doesn't leave much in the backup quarterback category. So if I'm sitting with the Vikings, I'm going, well, what do we do? I go, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope McCarthy stays healthy. If he doesn't, we throw one of the other guys in. If he doesn't do it, then we start making phone calls. We call the Tannehills of the world. We call the Derek Carrs of the world, and we just start making phone calls. Because and even then, it's just like once you start, especially if your starter's down for the year. If it's like, well, like let's say McCarthy, week 3, week 4, blows out his knee again, your season's basically done, right? Unless quarterback whisper can coach up Max Brosmer and he suddenly is the story of the National Football League like Darnold was, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
It is funny just because now that we have a redshirt freshman quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, so people just still don't know what to expect out of him.
Right.
Because basically Kirk Cousins' entire tenure here, we had worse backup quarterback play than we do now.
Yeah.
Like Sam Howell isn't he's not worse than Nick Mullins was.
No. The
last couple of years. But with Cousins, he was relatively durable. You knew what you were going to get. Now all of a sudden we're like, oh, we got to make sure we have a great backup quarterback play when we've not had that for the last 6 years.
Yeah, correct. And like I say, it's really difficult to find anyways. I don't know where you're gonna find that backup quarterback stuff.
Can Case Keenum be available and bring back the old magic?
Well, and that was an interesting story. And if you'll remember, after the Keenum season that took him to the NFC Championship game, in a game, I don't think people forget our last appearance in the NFC Championship game was 2017. And that was the year that the game was being played here at US Bank Stadium. And the slogan for the season became, bring it home, right? Well, then the season suddenly became watch from home after we got beat by the Eagles. But we weren't that far out of that game. When you look back at that football game with the Eagles, all we needed was a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an onside. That's all we needed. We were right back in the ball game, right?
I think the audience's reaction to that is just proof to people like Chad Abbott who think you need to freshen it up and come up with new material. They love hearing the hits.
Yeah.
They wanted the hits.
Like, here's another one of my old ones that I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you, 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 thank you. Huh?
You know what? It's August 22nd. So we're about, 2/3, almost 3/4 of the way here through the year.
Yeah.
Have you looked back on your New Year's resolutions?
Oh, I didn't know you knew I was a New Year's resolution guy. How many people here are New Year's resolution people? They write down New Year's resolutions? I check them usually about every 3 months, so I just recently checked them at the end of July. And not only have I broken all of my New Year's resolution, but 7 of the 10 commandments as well. I have 2 children with my wife, Helen, Potato. She's my first wife. My second wife hasn't been born yet. Oh, did I tell you I quit drinking? Yeah. Put the cork in the bottle is what I did.
I hate to do this because they're all laughing, they're all having fun. I'd like to bring up a serious topic if that's okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
I mean, it's a little controversial.
Yeah, if you want to bring down the problem, that's fine. Go ahead.
I would like to know what your thoughts are on euthanasia.
I don't know any young people from that part of the world, so how could I comment on it? The crowd seems to like this material. Maybe I should start doing stand-up comedy. I did mention earlier in the week that I had a major announcement about the Common Man, and I'm about to unveil it right now. You got the drum roll thing? Would it be hard to find?
I can find the drum.
Because this is big. This is as big as now. It's not as big as like Paul McCartney coming back to Minneapolis or the power trip going to Las Vegas for the 13th, 14th time, but it's big. It's really big. You ready?
I'm not. It's a little slower out here. The computer's... There we go.
Being the Common Man, the best of the lousiest, lousiest of the best, the book that I wrote on my own, unlike Mark Rosen, who had Jim Bruton ghostwrite his. Being the Common Man, the best of the lousy, best. sold out. I've sold 5,200 plus books. I have just a handful left that I'm keeping as keepsakes to hand down to my children. Well, you never know when they need a doorstop, right? And I hand them down to my children, and then they can hand them down to their children and their children's children. But I sold.
I'd lock those up in a safe downstairs.
Well,
I mean, those are going to be.
I've sold over 5,000, and to be honest, I'm kind of proud of it because I didn't know. I mean, the best part of it was Amy Quayle with Wise Inc. approached me one time, and she said, "Hey, I think you should write a book." And I'm like, "Me?" She said, "Would you like to talk about it?" I said, "Sure." Met with her for about an hour in the performance studio, and I said, "Well, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and do it." And she goes, "All right, I need a check for X amount of dollars." And it was 5 figures. And I went, "Well, wait a minute. Doesn't John Grisham get an advance?" I mean, and she goes, "Well, you're not John Grisham." So I said, "Nope, not going to work," right? Then a year later, she approached me again and said, "Let's rework." And then she said, "Well, you can just make payments instead of the whole lump sum, right?" And I said to her, "Well, it's really not the whole lump sum. I mean, I can afford my own golf balls. I can afford to write the check to do the book, but I just don't know if I'm going to get stuck with a bunch of books." But I decided to do it. Do you know how terrifying it is to invest that kind of money, wondering if all of a sudden, like at this time I'm announcing, I have books for sale. I got about 4,832 remaining. I had no idea what the reaction would be to it. And I'm almost brought to tears by the response, the positive response for those of you that bought a book. How many people here bought a book? Clap your hands. Thank you. I appreciate that.
How many people wish they had never bought the book? Clap of hands.
Yeah. By the way, no refunds. We don't take them back. We really, truly don't. But thank you very much. And it was a joy to write, and I appreciate you enjoying it.
Well, I lost the bet. I'd bet that you would not be able to sell all those books.
Well, and I have to save one for sure, because somebody sent me an email about 2 years ago, said, "Common, tell me when you're ready to sell your last book because I want to buy it." I have his email, so I'm going to send it to him, and that'll be the last one. Hey, we had fun in this first hour. We got 2 more hours to go. Other side of the break, feminine touch to the program. Lil B, the Smoke Show from Glencoe, joins us. Then at 1:30, Marnie Gellner of... is it FanDuel?
FanDuel Sports Network.
I never remember the name of the network anymore. They change their name so often. FanDuel Sports Network. And, of course, Phil and Fuller, Max Fuller of Fox 9 will join us as well for Program Password. That's at 1:30 right here on the Fan.